Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am ASAP Aviation, and we're going to be changing that. I am changing the channel name from Aviator PSNs to ASAP Aviation, because that just makes more sense to me. And number two, I'm going to stop calling myself ASAP Aviation or Aviator PSNs because I'm going to start using my real world call sign, which is KIA. Yes, that's an acronym. No, it is not for killed in action, it's for something else. Not going to tell a story behind that because there are rules behind finding out someone's real world call sign. And yeah, for those of you who know, I am an air defender. Certain air defenders get their call signs in a special way. I'm not going to reveal that either. But I do have a real call sign that is KIA. Some people call me Kia. I'm just saying KIA. Maybe Kia. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see what I go with as the channel progresses. But yes, I'm getting back into content creation a little bit. I know it's been a long time since I've made any videos, but I'm trying to get back into a rhythm of content creation, personal life, work life, etc., etc. So with that, all these awesome groaning and moaning sounds you hear in the background is from a new game that's currently in development called Iron Nest. If you go on to the Iron Nest Steam page, they have a link to their Discord, and you can get a free test key from the Discord group. This game is awesome. It is an artillery simulator. We can play the tutorial, which I've already done, and I think we'll do that again, just to show all the new guys out there what this game could possibly have. We have an awesome intro screen here of like the firing process. Like I said, this game is supposed to come out in 2026 according to the Steam page and the Discord page. It's still in early development. It's come a long way. I've seen some videos from the developers that they've posted on social media. It's an awesome dieselpunk steampunk game. We have a little engine room down here. This is like our there's a real world component. What am I trying to think of? There used to be in the old days like a Morse code to typewriter computer. So we get our messages here, and then we have our clipboard, which we can use the tab key to bring it to our face. Plot projects, reconnaissance report. You know, we'll get into all that in a little bit. We'll press caps lock here to hide that. And there's neat little things which have not been factored into the game yet. Like all these gauges eventually will mean something, I presume. Like this cylinder could be bad when you take damage from your gun takes damage. You have to do something down here. Obviously, you have two engines, and they make steam. And you know, when you get hit or something like that, these will like leak steam, which affects the pressures out there. So you have obviously your main steam for the right side of the turret and the left side of the turret. You have all these steam gauges here. You have some indicators here. Obviously, engine compartment. Training table. We'll get to this in a second. I just want to show other parts of the turret. We do have a window out there. As you can see, we have this little downstairs area, which is like your bunk is over here. You have something. This could be just visual points, but obviously we have a console over here with a lap. Oh, maybe this is the no, this is the menu screen. I'm just realizing that. Earlier just playing this, I was like, oh cool, there's like gauges and stuff. Oh, this is like the loading screen. That's kind of awesome, which makes sense. It's kind of cool. Obviously there's three game modes right now. Technically four. You have the training mission. What else do you have? Chill play or something like that, like relax play, where it's like slower paced, stuff like that. These are your rounds, your artillery rounds you get to fire. You can walk all over the place. Obviously, WASD is the standard controls and shift and spacebar to jump, and you have a nice little view of the outside world. It's kind of cool. Anyways, alright, so back to the playing table. So we're bringing up our clipboard. You can see this is like the tutorial. So we're going to play through this. It's probably going to be a longer video, but plot your firing trajectory target on the map. Fire your choice shell target, doesn't matter which one. Promise report. Your iron nest position, your turret is located at B255. Target position is 1533. Large delay. So we come up to the table here. Press E to interact with it. And WC to move around, scroll wheel to move in and out. We're going to draw the red pen. The red pen is what gives you your targeting data that you can record. Obviously, it gives us a pre-planned point here. And that's, oh yeah, that's the other thing. So, grids are number-based north to south, top to bottom, or bottom to top, and letters left to right. And then in each grid, same thing. Left to right for the first digit, top to bottom to top for the second. So we have the red pen here, the yellow pen. We'll get into that. The white pen is just to draw a line. It doesn't give you anything. Right click to delete stuff, and then you do have a compass here, which gives you a range, not necessarily an azimuth. It can be useful. And then we have markers over here for spotters, batteries, and then enemy points and targets. So you can see we have from outer position an azimuth 67.7 degrees. It would be awesome if this was in mils, but that's just nerd to me. No one's really gonna understand what mils are unless you're in the military or an artilleryman. And then obviously kilometers, 7.34 kilometers. So we have that. We'll press E to get out of that, and then we come over to the range calculating computer. So we're gonna dial in. I wish this could be scroll wheel, but I actually kind of like the fact that you have to like rotate your mouse around. So anyways, we're gonna put in 7.34 kilometers into the targeting distance, and we have to use 2 power charges. If I put in a longer range, you'll see that 2 becomes red, so that means that, you know, we need more power charges to reach that range. 7.34, 2 power charges, compute. It gives us this little sticker right here, which unfortunately sometimes it places it over the text. That's okay, we don't really need that. But once we have that, we're gonna come up here. We're just gonna select our ground type now. So let's just go ahead and, what else do we have? Phosgene, no, we're gonna use Phosgene. We're gonna, let's just give it an HE round, high explosive round. Load that into the gun. And again, you can interact with this as well. We'll select 2 power charges, put down to the wall there. And we'll go ahead and ram that. Once that's it, by the way, these sounds, the F mod in this game, superb. Superb sound design. We need 67.7 degrees, so we'll just use the lever to fast travel over there. Obviously using the dial for finite element. This is just for fast mode. Obviously that nut is there. And again, valves and stuff like that. And then gun elevation, we need 44 degrees. So let's go ahead and hit the fast travel lever, lift out 44. We have our little fire handle there, and more or less a checklist to see what's loaded and stuff like that. We don't have to do that. 43.2, we'll manually crank it. 44.04, a little too far, it's alright. 44.04, so that's checked. We're at 67.7 degrees, and again, you can sit here There might be an interact, yeah, E to interact, which I don't really like. I like being up close like this. So we have our 73, our range calculator is right there. It tells us what it is, and that does change based on the elevation of the gun and power charges we have in there. So 7.34, 7.34, azimuth 67.7, 16.7, shell type HE, and yeah, sure, we can click all these things if we want to. We don't need to. Gun is armed once we have the little magneto selected, and let's go ahead and boom. Then a little stopwatch comes up. That's our time to impact. Target destroyed. Look at that. And we'll skip that little tutorial animation, but we can see we have friendly units on the battlefield. Friendly fire happens, whatever. And there was a civilian riot that was an enemy riot considered risky to Castile, the Empire Castile. And we get a little note from the outside. Monstrous strike on Mercy Ward. So now we'll get rid of that and we get a new mission. And reset the map for us. I mean, granted, this is the tutorial, so we'll go through this pretty quickly. So we're firing phosphine gas. Alright, so while that's still typing out the next mission, we can get ahead of ourselves a little bit and come up here and select phosphine, and we can go ahead and load that. Okay, so now we have spotters, so we'll go ahead and select that. Come to the board here. Oh, I just got rid of it all. Sorry, there we go. Okay. So we have spotters. We can either place just individual white marks or we can use the tabs. I kind of like using the tabs because that kind of builds situational awareness if we were to get into a real game world or game mode. Spotter 1 is at D706. D7, zoom in, 06. We'll just assume that he's right there in the center. Target is bearing 082 at 1010. So here's where you could use the compass if you really want to. We could just draw an infinite line at 082 degrees. Actually, we should be using, get rid of that. We should be using the yellow pen. The red pen will copy down to our clipboard. We don't want that. We need to find the firing azimuth for our gun, not from the spotter. So we'll select that, 082. Somewhere out here at 10.10, 10.10 kilometers, so 82, right there. So that's where the target is from that spotter, where the spotter's looking at it. We clicked our little red pen there. There might be an animation, but I kind of like it with or without. That's just me. And then we'll just drag our little line out there. So 60.6 degrees, 13.2 kilometers. Let's go over to the range computer over here. What did I say? 13.2. And we need a minimum of 3 powder charges. Go ahead and calculate that, which gives us 52.8. Looks like 3 powders. Ram that in. While the gun loads itself, we'll just select, go over to 60. Sorry, the wheel here. 60.6. We'll adjust that to 52.8, and the gun does go back to where you had it set last. So we're gonna guess about there, probably close enough. Now here's the cool thing. If I were to click this, right, we damage our turret, and by that, these steam valves start leaking and whatnot. So we lose steam pressure, which as of right now, I don't think really affects the gun speed. 52.80. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Range 13.2, azimuth 60.6. We have phosphine loaded. Fire! And the sound effects, the lighting effects is so awesome. So awesome. And the recon animation of like the photos coming in. You can see the gas that is now put on the target destroyed, and assessed. It's so cool. Mission is successful. Well done. And we get another message here. These messages don't really mean anything in the tutorial. You can skip the animation because it still happens. And another newspaper gets thrown into us. The mechanized wonder. Nope, that's our gun. We'll just hit E to get rid of that. And we'll go ahead and get our next mission. So now we're going to do like a resection. So that was like a spotter sees a target here from the spotter, finds the new azimuth. Now this is 2 spotters, so we're doing a resection here. So there's spotter 1, spotter 2. So we'll go ahead and copy down those. So spotter 1 is now located at D855. So D8 right in the middle. 55. Spotter 2 is located at I258. So I258. Right? Yep. So we have 2 bearings here, so we'll select our yellow pencil. Target from spotter 2 is 026. So we're just going to click and drag from here. Draw an infinite line at 026 degrees. To there, and then from spotter 1, it's 080 from spotter 1. So we'll go out to the line here. We'll just go through it, just be sure. And oh no. $80. So it looks like I got lucky with that line. I'm like, no way it's that long. We'll draw another one to give a better example of what it should look like. So it's like from spotter 2, it was, what did I say, 26 degrees? Yep. So our target is at the intersection of these 2 lines, which is right, I'll use a white pencil here, get rid of that, right there. Now again, we could use a target marker here, or since we know where the intersection of 2 lines are, we'll just draw a point from our position, our gun, and I lost that one. My mouse must have messed up there. And drag it to that point right there. So we range, azimuth, and yeah, I'm not gonna spell everything out now. I'm just gonna go straight into it. So 12.91. Still need 3 power charges. 12.91. Check that. Get a little sticky note. We need 3 power charges, and we need to fire a high explosive round on the target. Which, as you'll now see, if I try loading it, you have no shells remaining. So this is the mechanic of the tutorial where we come over to here. And we need to select, again, you can interact with it, which is like the same mechanics as the map table, but I just like coming over here. And once the break gun is unlocked later in the tutorial, we can use that. But we just stamp a shell, and you can see each card has different costs. So like an armor piercing shell is 2 rounds, 2 requisition credits, You get requisition credits for destroying stuff. Your star shells, which are like your recon / illuminating shells, are the most cheapest, and the most expensive are the high caliber, high explosives. So we have our one HE round that we just bought. We'll go ahead and ram that in. And why the hell not? We'll just go ahead and interact with it. Love to change all the enemies to sound effects. Awesome. We have our little like indicator powder charges versus charge rammer system pressure, stuff like that. So, all awesome stuff. Anyways, let's go up to our last elevation, which is that. We're going to be at 54. It's 4.5. 50. 4. Range 12.91. 54.5 and high explosives loaded. Select the left gun and fire. Oops. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Impact. Target destroyed. Another thing with the map table, we have this little tool right here that can show us the expected damage zone. So like armor piercing is gonna be for your underground bunkers. It's gonna be the tightest, you know, stuff like that. High explosive. If you print that out, you can see that it kind of matches the impact area, the effective area of the round, and then high caliber, high explosive would decimate that area. But cool things, cool things. We have another newspaper. It's the same one. Like I said, the game's still in early development. There might be stuff changed over on the right hand side. I just really haven't read it. New mission. Target location unknown. So this is where we get into the use of star shells to locate our target. So we're just going to fire a star shell to L588. So we can take a red pen here. We got to L, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, L 588. Right there. Bearings from the range of 10.81. Three power charges is what we still need. So I'm get a little sticky note there for our elevation. Star shells right here. Why hell not? We'll interact. So let's see the animations. Loaded. We can select 4, but then our calculation will be wrong. You can see this thing is one of these valves is leaking, which will be affecting your pressure, which later on in development will affect like the speed or the functionality of the weapon system. We'll be facing 72.3 azimuth. So we need 43.24. Range 1081. Star shell loaded 72.3. Right gun. Sorry, left gun. Fire. And we'll see, based on where the impact of the star shell comes, we'll get a bright flash from the aerial cons photos right here. We'll get a range, so we'll take it from the center of the flash, split it down the middle. We gotta go 3.52 kilometers. So we know roughly between these two bearings, we can either eyeball it and be like, okay, 195.9, or we could do some quick math and like, okay, so we have 190.5 there, 200.6 of 195.5 is the middle, the median of these two, if we want to get super nerdy with it. But we just need to go 3.52 kilometers down this way, 3.52, right about there. So in theory, our target is right there. So we'll go ahead and select the red pen, and we need to launch an HE shell to destroy this target out here. So there we go. Now we have a new, notice how we have two here, so we'll just get rid of these, which are old. 91 degrees and 9.37. That's what we need. 9.37, which means we should be able to use only 2 power charges. It's always a good idea to use less. And as you can see, we have 2 stickers. I think this is a new one because that was the old one. So there we go. So now we need to fire an HE shell. Star shell, don't need star shell, we need an HE shell. Bring that in. While it gets loaded in, we'll switch to 6.2. Don't leave that going while we select our power charges. Oh. I messed up, so I selected 3. So we're only at 37.48 elevation, and I've gone too far with that. Okay, what was our estimate? 91. Oh, jeez. And we need 37.48. Bingo. 9.37 in the range, 91.0. We have an HE loaded. Left gun. Fire. Target destroyed. So we were off with our measurement. That's okay. The rounds that we selected, you know, we use this tool. If we place that over some of our target, we select. I don't care about the animation. Not when I'm trying to show cool stuff. If we use high explosive, we can see at the center of our impact includes that civilian riot that was the target from our spotters. So we could have fired anywhere to hit it, and I got it. So yeah, cool stuff. We'll just go ahead and get rid of these ones. I mean, it doesn't matter because it's just gonna reset anyways. But okay, here we go. Railways overwhelmed. Public overwhelmed. March on foot. Cool. Cool stuff. Certain utility batteries. So this is the last mission. And you notice that we have the right gun now. So what we will do, we'll come over here. We have a load of credits now. On the right gun we have star shells and HE shells. a singular HE shell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. We'll get, you'll notice now, we can select the right magazine. So we'll do 2 AP shells on the right. We'll do some HE on the right as well. Go 1, 2, and then we'll do an HCHE. Because why the hell not? And that was for the left. We'll do 1 for the right as well. Okay. So as you can see, I took all of our star credits away, and now we have some magazines here, or some rounds. So we have our 2 APs, our 2 HEs, and our high caliber. And again, you can tell by the color of the shell and stuff like that. We're going for enemy artillery positions, so we don't really need AP. But what I can do, because I know this is going to be a counter battery mission, what I'm going to do is I'm going to preemptively load, not the HE, I'm just going to go for a high explosive round. And our right gun. I don't know how many power charges I need just yet. Based on the targeted data, we're going to have to use a star shell, at least 1 star shell. So we know where 1 artillery location is, we don't know where the second one is. So we're going to go ahead and load a star shell. Now we're going to plot out this first one, because the whole thing about counter battery, which you will have a counter battery timer appear. Counter battery fire means that you have people out here that are looking for your shot based on your azimuth, assuming they have multiple people so they can track like where your apogee is in the flight of the round, etc, etc. So we have 2 spotters. Spotter 1's like a F810, and this is how I would do it real world if I knew this was going to be a counter battery mission, which real world you wouldn't. Real world, you know, you'd be shoot and move. So F810. Enemy artillery from spotter 1 is 85 degrees, so almost directly east. Just go to end the map out here. 85. Spotter 2 is at N279. N279. The first artillery location is 041. So 0 4 1, which means our first battery is out there. So we'll mark that. First enemy location, target number 1, is right there. Red does enter 2 intersections right there. So we'll go ahead with a red pen. We'll get our first battery, first target line, and we'll use the right gun for this one, which is pretty far out there. So what is that? 18.93. How many power charges do we have? We have more than enough. 18.93. We're probably gonna need 4 power charges for this. Yep. Maybe even 5. Nope, 4 is enough. 18.93. Go ahead and calculate that. And here's what I like to do. It's going to get rid of this information, unfortunately, but I like to put it up top in correlation with battery 1. So we know that our right gun elevation, we need 4 power charges. So we'll go ahead and select 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go ahead and, oops, right over here. Ram those power charges in. So while we're at it, we'll get our second. We'll just fire 3 same estimate. You'll see why in a second. We'll want to see something similar in terms of gun elevation if we could. So I'm just going to say a nice rounded out 12. 69.2 at 12, which is our second shot. That'll be for our star shell. 12 even. Hello, come on. Please. We get our second sticky note, which is at 48. So we'll come over here. We have our star shell loaded. And it'll show us left gun is star, right gun's HE. And you'll see while we do this, because as soon as we fire, we're going to assume that they're going to know our position. So we want to get 2 shots off quickly. Similar time of flight, so that we can destroy one, not worry about, you know, trying to figure out, oh, we got to do the calculation for this gun, for this star shell, to figure out where this gun is, you know, where Archer number 2 is. Right, because we don't know where Archer number 2 is. So as you can see, that gun's already moving up. We could link the 2, but we don't want to do that. So our first elevation needs to be 56. The second one needs to be 48, which is probably about there. And our azimuth is going to be 69.2 for both shots. So let's go ahead and go along 69.2. So now we come over here. Our right gun elevation needs to be 56.79. And our left gun, which is our star shell, needs to be 48. Perfect. So, in theory, you could fire both, and that's what I'm gonna do. I've actually never done both at the same time. Please. There we go. Both guns are armed. I have on the left gun, I want 12 kilometers. On the right gun, I want 18.93. I have an HE destroy battery number 1, and 69.2 for both. Both guns are armed. Fire. I'm immediately going to come over here, get ready for our next shot, which I'm just going to say, let's just go ahead and use that HC, high caliber, high explosive. One more time. There we go. The battery timer started with 897 seconds for that. Alright, so the second battery, as you can see, is going to be 1.82 kilometers out that way. I don't like that line, so we're just going to select from here. Yep, I like that. 1.82 in this direction. 1.82. That's our second point. So then we're going to come over here. Click this. And we'll get that point right there, which is going to be 13.3 and 63.8. As you can see, the first battery has been destroyed. Alright, so we need 13.33. Oops. 13.33, which still needs 3 power charges. And a little finicky there, which is 53.32. So not bad from our first one. So we'll go ahead, ram this round in. One, two, three. Power charge is set, ram that in. Just to, was it 63.8? .8 set, and we need 53.2 on the elevation. So we know that was 56, so we're gonna come down to about there. That should be 53. We'll select the right gum. We'll arm it. Once we get this dial, then we'll just rip it. 53.32 is what we need. See, the steam pressure's good. We'll done. So if I were to like open up this one, see the steam pressure drop. It's cool stuff. 53, I was close. 53 point. Two. Right comes arm fire. 15, 14, 13. T minus 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Impact. Target destroyed. You can see the difference between high explosive crater and a high caliber crater. You can see, yeah, we're pretty close. We were only, what, from the center of the target to where we predicted? 90 meters off? Not bad. And we get another letter that's getting thrown at us right now. Germany declares war. All of Europe is in arms. Knows the date, December 19th, 1926. That is the tutorial mission. And that is the basics to playing Iron Nest. I am super excited for this game. It tickles the right parts of my brain. I'm a little bit of a nerd, if you can't tell already. This game has a lot of potential. I'm sure, I hope at some point down the road this becomes PvE, where you and your friends could, you know, one guy could be on the azimuth, one guy could be loading, two guys for loading each gun, one guy computing, stuff like that, you know, or two players, you know, trying to figure out stuff. One's managing allocations and stuff like that. But right now, this is an awesome game in early development, and for me even to say that this game is in, it's not even an official beta release yet, it's like in pre-test mode. I think it's like you guys have to read, I think it's their Steam page or their Discord page about like what this game's about. It's two dads, I think, and man, they've just done the graphics, the sounds, the complexity, the interaction, the simplicity for, you know, the average off the street versus a nerd like me to jump in it and have fun. Oh my god, this game is awesome. And right now with this current Steam code, once you hit exit, it brings you to a Google form to like, hey, did you run into any bugs, stuff like that, how was your experience, blah blah blah. I've already done that, so I'm not gonna double submit again. Like I said, there's two game modes: play chill, play challenge, and technically the third, which is the debug mission. The debug mission is, well, it's there for a reason, right? There are issues with this mission, but still fun and challenging to play. This is like the ultimate challenge. I haven't done these two yet, but what I have heard from other YouTubers and other videos I've watched, the play chill is kind of similar to the tutorial. You know, you get a few missions here and there. Play challenge is real world. What you do with your fire missions and what you actually hit affects the battlefield. If you do friendly fire, that's going to affect your requisition credits. It's going to affect what the enemy does. It builds upon itself, and the missions, while they're all very simple in terms of like what artillery does, it is the right amount of complexity. It's such a great game. It's like the right blend of diesel / steampunk simulator and just arcade and fiction. It's check it out. I'll have the link to their the Steam page, and if I can get the right Discord invite link, I don't know if that's gonna work or not, I'll put that in the description too. And just follow the instructions on their Discord page to get the test key if you do want to test this out yourself and give it a shot. Otherwise, that's all I have, guys. I'm KA. fly safe.